Hey y'all, I know I've been gone for a little while, but I am a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, and it's always been a dream of mine to go to a home game. So I literally traveled across the country from North Carolina all the way to Seattle, Washington to see them play, to celebrate my 21st birthday. I literally have been saving for that since I was 18, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to go. So that's where I was last weekend, and I did not get back in time to film. But I did mention in my last video that I would be taking a small break for that reason. I'm not going to get into talking about every little detail about my trip. If you want to know how it went, then feel free to check out my shorts because I have some stuff on my shorts about it. But yeah, I'm back. I'm glad to be back, and as you can see, I'm back and I'm better. I also said in my last video that I was going to start updating this channel. I got some new lights. Obviously, I have a new setup. I have a new mic. I have a new channel banner, a new logo, a new intro you're getting ready to see. So I'm coming at y'all with all things new. In that same token, I want to say that my actual content will remain the same. So if you've been here for a little while, then don't fret, I got you. If you're new here, then welcome. Today we're going to be talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that is courage. I feel like that's a trait that I kind of exude a lot, but it's not something that I have always had, and I definitely did not gain it overnight. So let's talk about it. So I have this motto that I go by, and I call it feel the fear, do it anyway. And I really was just going to harp on that and really just dig into that right there. But as I was doing my research and stuff, I found that there are different kinds of courage, and I really wanted to get into those as well. I'm going to just talk about what they are, give examples, how to achieve and obtain them, and then at the end, I have a bonus. But first, I'm going to talk about my feel the fear, do it anyway thing. So feel the fear, do it anyway is my way, my version of saying the most common type of courage, which is bravery. That's the kind of courage that you see in all the storybooks and all the movies and yada yada yada. But when talking about real life, a lot of people don't understand that you cannot have bravery until you submit. So what is submission? What does that look like? So to achieve this kind of courage, the feel the fear, do it anyway happens, like I just said, when you submit. And submission is when you acknowledge the fact that the thing you're about to do is scary, and you just kind of sink into the discomfort instead of fighting it. So don't pressure yourself into doing something that you're afraid to do. Don't try to convince yourself that you have to power through it or bully yourself into doing it, because that's going to make the tension even stronger. But it's when you acknowledge the fact that it is scary, that's when the fight between the mind and the body ceases. So like sometimes you can be like so scared of something to the point where you feel like you can't move, or it's paralyzing. That's because you're trying to convince yourself that you're not scared when in fact you are. So the lie that you're telling to yourself will have your mind and your body not being on the same page. This happens to me a lot when I'm tumbling. If you don't know, I'm a cheerleader, and tumbling is when you flip your body through the air. And a lot of times it can be like truly scared, like to the point where I like just won't move, or I won't go and like, do my passes. And that's because I'm trying to convince myself that what I'm about to do isn't scary. Not that it's not dangerous, because what I'm doing might not be dangerous, but you can have something that's not dangerous and have it still be scary. So I be trying to convince myself like, oh, I'm not scared, when reality I kind of am. And then it makes me freeze and it makes me very tense, instead of just telling myself or giving myself permission for the fear to be present. So acknowledging your fear and giving yourself permission for it to be present helps the mind and the body be on the same page and come together as one instead of fighting each other. Your power comes from you acknowledging your fear and doing that thing in the presence of the fear. Your power does not come from dismissing the fear and then doing it. That's actually sending you backwards, because if you do something and you're not scared to do it, then you have conquered nothing. I don't know why society tries to like tell you, oh, don't be scared, or your fear isn't real, and da 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 da, but that doesn't do anything for you. The thing that makes somebody courageous is the fact that they went through and did something while their fear was literally sitting right there on their shoulder like their best friend. So that's where your power comes from, not from just like trying to get rid of the fear. You need it there because that's what ensures you that you are challenging yourself. And when you're challenging yourself, that's where growth happens. Now, you don't have to always or only do things that you're afraid of. I mean, have a balance between the two, but there's nothing wrong with, trying to go through with something when you're scared. Don't try to not be scared first and then do it, because that's not courageous. And there's a difference between being scared and just being stupid. Of course, you're going to be scared to go up to a 10-story building and jump off with your eyes closed backwards or whatever, because what's after that? You're going to die. That's what's on the other side of that. You're going to die. So what's the point of even doing that? It adds nothing to your life. You won't have a life after that, matter of fact. So feel the fear, do it anyway means that on the other side of what you're doing or what you're afraid to do adds value to your life. That's what that means. It doesn't mean go off and do something crazy or stupid or be a daredevil. That's not what this means. So yeah, when you do things in the presence of fear, when you welcome that fear, when you embrace that fear and you go ahead and do the things that you want to do anyway, that is what will gain you courage throughout just your life. So there are a few other forms of courage that I want to talk about as well. One of them being the courage to be disliked or to think outside of the box. That's more of like a moral and intellect kind of courage. This kind of courage happens when one goes against the grain, not necessarily to cause commotion, but because they are outwardly expressing their intellect, it can cause commotion. Sometimes I feel like nowadays just having an opinion is courageous. And when I say having the courage to be disliked, I don't mean going out of your way to try to be, quirky and seek attention, or trying to be like a pick me, I'm not like other guys, I'm not like other girls. No, I don't mean like that. It's when you choose to push the envelope and go beyond what people are saying you should think or act, like just being radical. When I think of this version of courage, I think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Like, to me, I think he went beyond the courage of just being disliked. To believe in what he believed in during the time that he lived in was not something that could just make people not like you. No, it was something that could get you killed. And that is kind of what got him killed, because during, that era, his morals and his intellect was very outside of the box during that time. And so I'm pretty sure there were plenty of times where he thought to himself like, dang, what I'm doing can probably get me killed. Yet he carried on anyways. Having the courage to be disliked is achieved when you value the way it'll benefit other people's lives more than you value the way it'll benefit your life. So it's a little backwards from the feel the fear, do it anyway, because instead of what you're afraid of on the other side of that, adding value to your life, it adds value to other people's lives, and you're volunteering for the discomfort that it may bring. So we've all seen how the internet can single-handedly ruin people's lives. So why in the world would I volunteer myself for that by making a YouTube channel? Because I have the strength and the courage to withstand the scrutiny that other people might give me that might hurt, because I know that what I'm doing is providing a service to other people and that it will benefit other people's lives, because there are people that are going to be out there that are going to like my stuff and that are going to, give me the time of day. And so regardless of the fact that, I'm not very tech savvy, it's very outside of my comfort zone, I did it because I knew that it would add value to other people's lives. And I feel like starting a YouTube channel does take a lot of courage, y'all. It really does. But outside of that, having the courage to be disliked means that you just kind of are okay with whatever comes with what you're about to do, because what you're about to do is for the greater good. Also, within that same point, before I move on real quick, I feel like sharing or even having intellect nowadays requires courage, because I rarely see anybody that just has an original, refreshing thought, because people are just so worried about what others are going to think of them. So they just, run with the crowd and think like everybody else does and not think for themselves. And I don't know. know, I just feel like that kind of takes courage. So, but yeah, volunteering for something that might bring you discomfort in order to benefit somebody else's life more than it benefits your own is how you achieve this kind of courage, and also sprinkle in some intellect in there too and think for yourself. So this is the last one I'm going to share with y'all today, and that is emotional courage. And I know there are different kind of types of emotional courage, but I'm going to be specifically talking about the courage to let go. Whether that be letting go of people, relationships, your past, forgiving yourself, jobs, anything that is sucking the life out of your soul and keeping you from your greatest potential. Now, I think there are two main reasons why this is hard for people. One being that they do not trust what's coming next, or two, that they just don't want to go through a short period of time of discomfort for a long time gain or benefit. If something is all you know and you can't see your life without it, even if that thing is bad for you, letting it go can seem scary because you might think that your life is over. But I mean, yeah, that part of your life is over, and you can say goodbye to it and be glad that you don't have to deal with it anymore, and rejoice that you have room to start something else in that spot that was being occupied for something that you didn't need, And I know that might sound easier said than done. And I know that having the courage, or even saying that you have the courage to do something, is a lot harder than actually going through with it, especially when we're talking about letting go. But having the courage is achieved when you decide that walking in your purpose holds enough significance to you that you automatically no longer bow to the fear. So yes, quitting my job was scary. Yes, leaving my man was scary. But I know there's better out there. I know there's better to come. And I know because clearly me staying was not fulfilling my purpose. And now that I dismissed it and I let it go, I now am one step closer to doing so. Okay, so those are ways to achieve different kinds of courage, and I really wanted to share that with y'all today. But before we go, I do have a bonus for y'all. So if all else fails, you try to apply these to your life and you still don't feel like a courageous person, I wanted to leave y'all with a Bible verse. That Bible verse being Joshua 1:9, and it reads, "Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." So whether you believe in God or not, that doesn't make him any less real. That doesn't make him any less with you. So in all things that you do, hold your head up high, stand up tall, do not shrink, and stand firm, because God is with you. So if nothing I've said in this video seems like something you'll be able to apply to your life, that right there should give you the utmost courage. Okay, that's all I have for y'all today. I am excited to see where this channel is going. I incorporated a lot of new things because I know I have a lot of new people. I did really miss y'all when I was away on my trip, and I know I said earlier that I wasn't going to talk about every little detail, but I did want to talk about this one very, very, very special moment when DJ Dallas gave me his cleats. It was the craziest thing. Like, just watch.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh my god! Bro, this is crazy. That's amazing. That's just looking at you like you were just speaking in tongues.
So yeah, I made this really cool sign and it got on the Jumbotron. It was like such a big deal to me, and everybody was coming up. It was like so cool, such a special moment, and I really wanted to share that with y'all. But y'all already know what to do. If you like this video, then hit the like button and subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all next week.